Hello to you, Emmanuel Shachaf.
Hello, hello.
First of all, congratulations launching the new international book, the English version of Sharon's Sovereignty, the book that you and Taysir Abu Saada wrote about a promising vision for peace in the Middle East. How are you celebrating the book during the war between
We're,
Israel, United States, and Iran?
we're not celebrating yet. We'll keep that for a later date.
What would be the headline that you would share towards this war that we're taping in the middle of it?
Never-ending story.
Never.
Never-ending story. No, definitely not with this government, this Israeli government.
But they are striking, they are hitting, they are demolishing, they are evaporating, they are sending missiles. So maybe there's going to be a good end for a bad regime.
I doubt very much there'll be a good end for a bad regime. I think we'll do a lot of destruction that will cause also those Iranians who may be supportive of Israel will have second thoughts, and I'm not sure we'll be able to effect a change in the regime in Tehran, like we didn't succeed in effecting a change in the regime in Lebanon when we tried that last time in the 1980s. So
neither in Gaza,
and not in Gaza, yeah, not in Gaza either. We're just not good at that because we're not doing it the right way. If you can't change a regime, the only people who can change a regime is the people of the country.
well, they've tried and they said, please help us.
Okay. There's certain things we can't do. It's just you have to realize that you can't do this.
So what is the right way, according to your belief, in order to have this war ended with a diplomatic, an agreement, some kind of real change?
Well, there was already everybody was on the way to have avoided the war. The JCPOA in 2015 under Obama was the perfect way to go about it, to continue.
Do you think it was perfect?
No, it wasn't perfect, but there's no perfection in arrangements like that. It's always the best you can do at the time. And it was the best that could have been done at the time. And most experts, nuclear experts, agreed that it was pretty good under the circumstances.
But wouldn't that agreement allow Iran and Tehran to continue to build missiles, to continue to support Hamas and Hezbollah, and at the right time, at the right year, to continue and create nuclear bombs?
First of all, it didn't include missiles. It didn't include in the first place. But in terms of nuclear, we don't know what the future holds. We don't know how things develop. What we do know that it's very unlikely that you can prevent a country of 90 million from developing nuclear weapons if it really wants to develop nuclear weapons. So the thing is to delay is reasonable, and if you over the delays the regime changes, then you're better off. You can't predict anything beyond a certain limited time.
Do you think that you would have recommended President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu to send boots on the ground of Israeli and American top unit soldiers in order to hold the golden trophy of the 400 and something kilograms of enriched uranium?
If it can be done, if it's feasible to do that in an amazing James Bond action, maybe. But what we're basically doing is we're telling Iran, guys, you have to get your weapon ready because otherwise this is going to happen again and again.
The nuclear weapon ready?
Yes, because they obviously they get whatever we do by force is a bigger incentive for them to develop nuclear weapons in earnest. And there are 90 million people. They're not going to give up.
Do you think that most of them wouldn't like to change the regime over in Iran, in Tehran?
I'm not sure most of them do. I think a large percentage does want to change the regime, but I don't think it's large enough to expect that that's going to happen while we're bombing Iran. Okay.
Technically because they're afraid from bombs, or because they think, okay, if people are striking and sending missiles against our beloved country, maybe we should be part of the regime.
It's never one reason. It's always more than one reason, and this is both of these reasons are accurate. They're afraid to go into the streets, and they also I'm not sure that they sympathize with so much with us. So I just think it's a wrong way to go about it, and it's very unlikely that it's going to happen.
So what is the right way, Manuel?
The right
Shahaf?
way is to engage, with treaties, with trade, with diplomatic relations, and to try to moderate the regime over time, and hope that Iranian people will vote for a better regime at a later stage. Because obviously we can't enforce anything. We can only impede, and impeding it and trying to enforce our policies will only strengthen the other side.
So what do you think is going to be the end game of this war?
The end game of this war is going to be that the United States will call an end to it in the next week to 10 days, because the economic costs to the world economy are forbidding, and then whatever is going to happen is going to be one big mess, and nobody's not going to know what's coming out of it. I doubt that it's going to be a regime change. There may be a regime change within the regime. Okay, it may be that more moderate people in the Iranian regime of Ayatollahs will come to the top, realizing that it's better to be popular with more people in the country, and it's better to be popular to get support from abroad, and they realize that an extreme regime isn't going to be the right thing to do. But we don't know that. It could also go the other way.
What other way might happen?
That will be a more extreme regime. Look at the way it looks now. The son of Ayatollah Khomeini, who appears to be a more radical
Than his father.
Than his father. He may be worse than Khamenei was. So we don't know how this is going to go. We definitely created a mess.
And do you think that Gaza, Hamas, the war of October 7, how will it end with the peace committee?
It's not going to end for a while, unless America devotes more attention to it. And America is now disoriented because of what's happening in Gaza, and this is probably also one of the reasons that Netanyahu was so happy to go into Iran, in order to distract attention from Gaza, because it permits Israel more freedom of movement in Gaza, which isn't good.
Because how would be the end game according to that?
I don't know. Some Israeli members of the government have said that they're not going to withdraw from Gaza. Okay, and we don't really know how that's going to play out. Because if we don't withdraw from Gaza completely, it's going to be continuation of the Gaza story for I don't know for how long.
And Hamas, do you think that they are going to give up and leave their weapons? The heavy weapons, the other weapons?
They will, if they see a rebuilding of Gaza. If they can be persuaded that rebuilding is only going to come about if they give up their weapons, they're going to turn them in slowly but surely. But that's not going to happen as long as we are in Gaza. As long as we are in Gaza, I don't think Hamas will disarm.
Let's talk about Lebanon. The war is happening again.
Yep.
They have new missiles that are launching for 300 kilometers that are very, very sharp. They can go from the Baqa in Lebanon to Tel Aviv directly. They seem to be combined with Iran. What is going to be happening there?
I don't know what's going to happen. We invited this fight for some reason by assassinating Khamenei, because Hezbollah said that if Khamenei will be harmed, they will enter the fray, and they did. They kept their promise. So we're going to have to deal with it. This is also something which isn't going to be finished by brute force. We're going to fight and fight and fight, and they're going to be still left standing. This has to be another arrangement in an agreement.
And do you think that this kind of agreements held by the Israeli government, the way it's governed right now, do you think it's going to be creating peace, prosperity, tranquilness for the coming years in the region?
This government isn't interested in. This government is interested in total victory against Iran, total victory against Hamas, total victory against Hezbollah.
It can be done?
No.
Why?
Because it can't. History has proven that it cannot. Our technological superiority doesn't match the resilience of these groups who are fighting for their life on their land, mostly on their land, except for Hezbollah maybe, so it's a lost proposition.
So you believe that the part of the human spirit, even when it comes and goes with the evil people, do you think that they're there to stay? Their hope, it's not going to be demolished by any air force. Would it be the best in the world as it is?
Absolutely. Very unlikely that this is going to change. The only way to moderate them is slowly but surely to engage with them and engage in a positive way, not in a negative way.
And what about, for instance, the experience with Daesh when America was sending so much bombs that it seems to have total victory there?
It's difficult to tell. It's difficult. I'm not familiar with the situation there right now, so I wouldn't tell. But to say that Daesh doesn't exist is also not true. They're still in existence, and these groups will always be there. So we're going to have to live with it. Like they're going to have to live with us Zionists. We Zionists have to live with the Palestinians, with Hamas, and with Hezbollah.
Emmanuel Shachaf, you were former in the Israeli Mossad. If you had a chance to meet today with representative of the Ayatollah regime, with representative of Hezbollah, with representative of Hamas, personally, would you go to that meeting?
Sure. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No hesitation.
No hesitation.
Knowing that they're terrorists, they are representing total evil.
No hesitation.
Why?
Because they're a reflection of us. If you ask them about us, okay, they'll say we're total evil. Look what you did. Look what we did. Look what
the Israelis.
The Israelis. Look what you did. So I realize that these are human beings who live in a certain reality. Part of it is fake. Part of it is what they perceive, what they believe in, and I want to contribute to making it more real for them and for us.
Towards the end of this interview, Emmanuel Shachaf, as always, you're looking for an upside, something that you can share to the world, that there is a light out there.
Well, I just participated in a Zoom conference which took place in Brussels, and I wanted to attend in person, but because of the war couldn't, with young European federalists. It's a group of young people who promote the federation in Europe, but also in Israel-Palestine. And they are young and full of optimism, and it's always a pleasure to be with them and be reinvigorated to continue the fight for a federation here in Israel and in Palestine.
People that want to be part of the community, the lectures, the books, how would you recommend?
Facebook, Emmanuel Shachaf, or Identity, the Quest for Israel's Future, or the Federation Movement.
Emmanuel Shachaf, thank you very much.
Thank you.